As part of the commemoration, the Museum of Fine Arts is offering an exhibit that shows the many faces of those afflicted with AIDS and encourages other Utahns to learn the facts about the disease. There are two parts to the exhibit: still life photos and a video presentation created by 5 people living with AIDS or the AIDS virus. Sheila Hamilton profiles one of the young men who appears in the video, a man who found out the diagnosis of the HIV virus is not necessarily a death sentence.
I'm supposed to take some pictures today of things that are really important to me, and I'm pretty important to me, so here I am.
Kevin Nolenberg thought he'd make a video to try to help people understand the difference between a diagnosis of HIV and having AIDS. Kevin learned he was HIV positive 4 years ago in the Army. At 23, he thought he'd live the rest of his life like it was already over.
It was like the last hurrah. It was eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. And that's how I felt. You know, I was afraid to commit myself to an education. I was afraid to commit myself to a career. I was afraid to commit myself to a relationship. Why embark on all of those things if I was going to be dead in a year?
But Kevin woke up to the fact that he really could live with HIV. He enrolled in criminal justice courses at the University of Utah and committed himself to his personal health.
That includes diet, rest, stress management, exercise, communication. Try to maintain healthy communication with people that are important in my life.
Kevin kept his condition private until now, but with this video, he hopes to educate others and foster compassion in our community.
The nice thing about being honest and coming forward is that I take the weight off my shoulders and I put it on your shoulders.
Sheila Hamilton, KTVX 4 News.
There are an estimated 3,000 Utahns carrying the HIV virus. The majority of those people don't realize they're infected and may live years without any symptoms of AIDS.
10% of the people who have AIDS in this state are women. Children account for roughly another 4%. Several Utah families trying to clear up misconceptions about the disease are participating in a video and still life exhibit at the University of Utah these days. Sheila Hamilton talks with a woman who contracted the disease from her husband and spends what little energy she has left to educate others.
She's just another observer as she stands among those watching the video she created. But it's her camera panning a collection of stuffed bears, one with sunglasses and a tie, the others representative of her and her children.
That bear represents, the spirit of my husband, and that when I was feeling lonely, that, I could hold that bear.
Pat married her husband in 1985. He was in the LDS Church's Elder Quorum, a highly respected addictions counselor who had overcome his own IV drug use 12 years earlier.
We were going to live happily ever after, of course. But because the disease did go back quite a ways and the doctors here in Salt Lake did not recognize the symptoms.
Just weeks after her husband's death in 1988, Pat knew she too was infected.
Normally when I'm in top physical condition, I run about 5 miles a day, and when I started to realize something was terribly wrong with my body, I couldn't walk around the block.
Like many of the mothers who appear in the exhibit, Pat worried her children were also infected. But her daughters are from a previous marriage, and they are free from disease. Pat works now to educate others in her church about AIDS and the reality that it can be transmitted through heterosexual contact.
I really believe that when people find out and they're educated, that they can really give us what we need most, and that is love and caring.
Sheila Hamilton, KTVX 4 News.
32 Utah women now have AIDS, but it is estimated 300 women are unknowingly carrying the HIV virus.